I'm going to show how to make the candy clay. And this is not obviously real chocolate. This is the Wilton Candy Melts. And the reason that you would use this if you're not used to working with chocolate is that the chocolate has oils that you have to be a little more careful when you heat it. These are made to heat, so it's not quite as temperamental as chocolate, and it's easier to work with if you're actually working with it because it has a higher melting point. So real chocolate will get softer in your hands, and this is a little bit easier to work with. Now when you buy this in the stores, the colors that you can get all year round come in 14-ounce bags. It's very important that you check the weight of these because some of the special colors, like the black that you can get at Halloween, and I really like this because you can just use it for, instead of black fondant, you can use it for details on things, and it's a little bit easier to work with, and it tastes better. But this is only 10 ounces, some of the special colors. And then there is a white that they call like their Premier White or something, and that's only 12 ounces, I think, if I remember correctly. So when you make this, you need to make sure that you adjust the amount of corn syrup that you put into it because the 14-ounce bag is obviously going to make the clay right with the recipe. But if you put the same amount of corn syrup in the 10-ounce, it's not going to be stiff enough. It'll be too soft. So just make sure you pay attention to that. All right, I wanted to get those out of the way because they're very noisy. All right, so the way that you do this is get your candy melts. One bag, the 14-ounce bag, melt it in the microwave in 20-second increments and stir it after each one. The first time that you stir it, it's just going to be the candy melts, and you'll feel stupid stirring it, but just go ahead and stir it up and then put it in for 20 more seconds. Did I say minutes? 20 seconds, not 20 minutes. All right, and keep stirring it until it gets to the point where there might be a little few bumps in there, but the residual heat will heat that. You don't want to overheat it because then the fats that are in it, I don't even know what they put in the stuff, but the fats will come out and kind of rise to the top. So when it cools off, it'll get a layer of white kind of crust on it, and it's kind of waxy. So just get it to the point where it's smooth, stir it, and you're going to add 1/3 cup of corn syrup. That goes right in. You can add a little bit of glycerin to it just to keep it a little bit soft, but it's not really something you have to do. All right, so make sure you get all that out. All right, now you're going to stir this kind of in a folding motion, and it will start to seize up. You don't want to overstir it. Especially if you're working with real chocolate, the proportions are different. You can't use this, you can't use 14 ounces of chocolate to 1/3 cup corn syrup. It's a different proportion. But if you're working with real chocolate, you want to make sure you don't overstir because, again, that will make the oils in the chocolate come out. All right, now see this is starting to firm up and get kind of a texture to it. When it does that, you can see that's really seized up now. You want to stop. Put it out onto a piece of plastic wrap. And you just wrap it up, and you have to let it sit overnight, or if you can throw it in the fridge and let it solidify a little bit, you can do that. But that is how you make candy clay, and when that hardens up, it'll be like Play-Doh, but it'll be soft, and it'll be able to keep details better. So if you're doing something with a little details, you can use little carving tools instead of using fondant. This will keep the details on it better if you're kind of putting things into it. And that's basically how you do it. So make sure you have the right amount of corn syrup. If it's a 10-ounce bag, just reduce the corn syrup a little bit, and you can figure it out proportionally. Make sure you don't overheat it, and make sure that you stop stirring before it gets too lumpy. And what you'll do is after this cools off, take it out and knead it and soften it up, and then you can rewrap it and just use it when you need it. And that's it.